Welcome to Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. For more years than I can remember, I have lived by two main philosophies of life that have guided me in my approach to everyday living. One is that every morning I look forward to something in the day. It could be as simple as a cup of coffee. The other one is that I do not want to be 108 years old, look back on my life, and ask myself, why didn't I? That second one covers a short word with big consequences to one's inner peace, and that word is regret. I do not want to live in regret. Have I fallen short of that goal? Oh, yeah, many times. But it is something I use to measure my decisions, especially when it comes to my relationships, interactions, and choices in responding to the needs of people. Of course, I have a list of I should haves or I wish I would haves. However, I try to keep that list as short as possible by trying to live intentionally, to act on things so that I do not have that gnawing feeling of I should have. I used to ruminate on those I should haves, and I did not want that heavy load anymore. Maya Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. Hmm. That really is how we chart the course of in striving to live without regret. Thank you for being a part of my journey these past 3 weeks as I grieve the loss of my sister Frida. One of the things that I thought of shortly after she died was the fact that we had no regrets. We shared our feelings about each other whenever we were together. We laughed, talked, cried together, and always said, I love you when we said goodbye. Having no regrets is truly comforting. Unfortunately, that is not how every relationship goes in families. Last week, I talked about Frida's stuff and how she didn't take any treasures with her when she died. Nothing. I know she did not take any of the things she wished she would have done, have said, or had done differently with her either. She didn't carry those regrets or the regrets other people might have had by saying or doing things to her in her lifetime. She didn't take them. A good lesson we can take now is writing what we have done wrong to others, telling them we are sorry, asking for forgiveness. We can start sending those notes or talking with someone about their pain or need instead of later wishing we would have. One day, Frida and I were talking about something, probably in the line of regrets or something, or maybe something someone had said or done. And she said to me, we can put it in a bubble and blow it away. And it was just so great. We talked about that phrase many times after that. Instead of carrying a grudge, ruminating over something, we can put it in a bubble and blow it away. And suddenly you are free and you will do better. So perhaps the lesson today may be instead of reliving the things we regret, let's put them in a bubble and blow them away. Then let's make it a practice to focus on, list, and celebrate the things we have not regretted doing or saying in life. Those things we could have easily avoided or ignored that we would later regret. If we do them, act on them now, we can later celebrate that we have nothing to regret. We then live our lives intentionally, aware of doing what we can, saying what we can that serves others in the world. Hmm. It takes courage to live with intention, but the outcomes are confidence and joy. There's an old story about a quiet man who interviewed for a job as a farmhand. When asked why he should be hired, the man replied, I can sleep through a storm. The boss was puzzled and a bit annoyed with the man's repeated and simple answer, I can sleep through a storm. But he hired him anyway. The man did good work. He was consistent and reliable. One night, the storm came. The boss woke up hearing the ferocious wind and went to get the hired man up and out to put the animals in the barn, tighten up all the doors to protect them from the storm. He pounded and pounded on the door, but the man was sleeping soundly and didn't wake up. The boss, steaming with frustration, went out to get the animals in the barn and do the necessary things himself. To his surprise, he found all the animals safely inside. The doors were fastened and everything was safe. He then understood the answer of this quiet and wise man: I can sleep through a storm. May we all strive to live out our relationships with care for our words and attitudes so that when the storm of loss comes, we may gladly say, we have no regrets. We can live in peace with no regret. This week, on your bathroom mirror, write, I will live so that I can sleep through a storm. Join me next Monday for Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.